Eh. I'm awake. I'm awake. Oh. Oh my God. When are we getting rid of this goddamn daylight savings time? We're doing it, right? Like it's happening. It's gonna be a thing at some point. Right? Like that's gonna be a thing. God. Oh. Yeah, when my alarm went off at the time, at the clock time it should be, which is an hour before, it would have been. I was actually what I like to call dizzy tired when I got up. It was just, oh, okay, that's cool. See, I just force myself up, force myself to stretch, to get my blood going, force myself to exercise, to wake myself up. Just, oh my God. Wow. Daylight savings time sucks. I think we can all agree. And for those of you who don't agree, all right. So now that we've killed all the people who don't agree with us, everyone agrees with us. That's how that works, right? That's how that works. Oh man, for real though, like can we just like I understand that changing laws takes time, but can we just put this on the to-do list? I've mentioned this before. When it comes to time management, when it comes to management in general, I do understand the difference between, a low priority and a high priority task. But one of those things, this guy's name is Hojo. One of the things that I tend to be very strong about when it comes to management and it comes to project prioritizing is that something that is low priority slowly raises in priority the longer it sits there. And if you're wondering why, it's because from the long-term perspective, if you always look at something that's, low priority and just continue to leave it at low priority forever, then it'll never happen. Because triage will always ensure that you're always working on things that are higher priority, and it will just never get fixed, and it'll keep being a problem. And statistically speaking, most of the times when you just leave something undone for a long period of time, it doesn't just continue to be a problem. It actually becomes worse of a problem. And yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure at least several states here in the States have actually officially voted and ratified, yeah, get rid of this garbage. But yeah, it does require Congress, that is to say the federal Congress, in order to get involved. And, well, I mean, asking those yahoos to do their job is like pulling teeth out of a baby, so no, that's probably not happening anytime soon. What? I heap nothing but scorn upon the U.S. Senate, okay? Just nothing but scorn. It's funny you say that, Ross, because you're right. Arizona did eliminate it. So did Hawaii, actually, while we're on the subject. But the funny thing about Arizona, has you ever actually looked at the daylight savings zone zones in Arizona? Have you ever actually seen that? Because actually, not all of Arizona is off TST, which is just horrifically confusing. But let's not even get into that. It's just a whole. Can we just Thanos it, right? Can we just no? Okay, whatever. Okay. Enough ranting about stupidity. Let's go ahead and talk about some music. So if you remember, last time we cut off, we did so with the Magitech Research Facility, and actually we went ahead and skipped forward a little bit and decided to listen to Searching for Friends, which I'm glad I did because that's so far been the best song by far when it comes to the Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster soundtrack. But now we're going to continue from that, and we're probably going to go ahead and go through the rest of the soundtrack up to Dancing Mad. We'll save Dancing Mad and the final, the finale, the ending song, for their own completely separate Loreweek, which will be next week, because those are extremely long songs. So, for now, we're up to the Blackjack. That's not the Blackjack. There we go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and admit that this is probably one of my least favorite airship songs, like, ever. It's not a bad song, don't mistake me. But it's just, it's what is this? This is the airship song. Ironically, Setzer's song works as a better airship song than this one, in my opinion. It's also a really short loop. 30 seconds, right? Well, actually, no, there's a second, but whatever. Nevertheless, they do some good stuff with the brass. Trying to keep the pace going. The problem is it feels like a travelogue song, right? Like, this sounds like the kind of music that would be playing. It's like, well, come visit sunny Doma. Daylight savings time hazardous. So come visit sunny Doma, and together we will be able to see the great stones of Tagara. Right? It's just travelogue music or tourist music or something. It just feels weird, but it's not a bad song. Lots of accompaniment of both woodwind and strings at the same time, with the brass accenting them, etc., etc. And that's the actual loop. It's 1 minute 23 seconds. So the new one. Really leaning into that travelogue thing. Like the way they use that brass, that single trumpet or French horn or whatever it is. And then all of a sudden, the Mario Galaxy whistle. That's a weird choice. Yeah, we just started. I was ranting about how stupid daylight savings time is. Mostly a straight mix so far. I don't have much to say about it, other than the addition of the space whistle. It looks like there's a second loop. Kind of weird beat to it, doesn't it? In general, always has. We're definitely over the 50% mark at this point, Oculus. We're gonna finish up the 4.0 quests Tuesday. Put it that way. Not sure when exactly. The sooner the better, but we're gonna finish it Tuesday. And I've been committing to doing as much of the side quests as possible in all of my spare time. So, this will hopefully not drag the rundown again. Yeah, by the way, Ruby C got 2 negatives to gameplay for side quests. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, that doesn't really feel any different. I mean, yay, they added the whistle, but that's just a straight mix. It's not bad. Retains the tone of the original, and they do a few extra things with the brass, but otherwise that's pretty much just the same song. So next is that song. Okay, so hang on. That's this song. This is the Something Weird Is Happening song. Nah, I just started USN Corp today. Thought about giving a negative to Kugane, but eh. And that's it. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's the Something Weird Is Happening song. So let's see what the new version is. think this one's actually a little bit weaker than the original. Like, they use more reverb to make it sound a little bit more echoey, but a lot of the actual specific instruments just don't have the impact they did, so it just kind of sounds more atmospheric. So, I don't know what to make of that. And that's it. There's no additional things. That's whatever. I suppose we'll go ahead and call that a whatever. What's next? Mog's theme. Speaking of weird things. So we all know Mog, of course. Now, most Moogle songs have a specific tone to them, but this is one of the exceptions because it sounds like this. I'm not sure what to make of this one, really. It feels like they went with the same general Moogle tone, but then decided to go ahead and add a weirdly heavy percussion beat to it, and bass beat. Yeah, to add some funk to it. Considering he's the slam-dancing Moogle, that would make sense. And that's it. New version. Okay, leaning into the weird factor a bit here. Hi, Loner. So they change up the instruments on the main Moogle tune to sound it more whimsical. And rather than emphasizing the funk, you notice how they're really emphasizing the weird by changing up the instruments they're using. To make it sound quirky instead of funky. And looks like that's it. No double loop. That's a weird take. I don't think I like that one. I suppose Moogles have always been kind of quirky. It's just... Well, I am terrible at critique. I was actually literally thinking, as I was getting ready for stream, bleary-eyed and tired, about how I feel so a lack of confidence, so unconfident in critiquing music, because I don't have the words. Like, I can try to describe it with the inaccurate words, and I just sound so amateurish when I do it. Okay, so next song is... okay, so this is listed as Strago's theme, but what this actually is the theme for Thamasa. Now, this is heavily inspired by the Mazidia theme back in 4. Now, if you're paying attention, there's a wonderful tempo to this. Almost all the instruments, the bass in the background, the actual flute that's carrying the melody, which, by the way, also has bits of Realm's theme in it, if you're paying attention. And is the same woodwind they use for Realm's theme, but anyways. But especially with the way that they're doing the percussion in the background, there's a very... like, there's a clear delineated beat in between each thing, so it's almost plodding. Hit F5, Cardboard Golem. Unless it's actually desynced. But I don't actually have a way of knowing that. The only way I can tell is to completely shut down everything. Then go check. But it does sound... I mean, it does make sense that this is both Thamasa's theme, which is a weird place in its own right, and Strago's theme, who is a stubborn jackass, right? Like, I shouldn't say jackass, he's not a jackass, but, you know, he's very stubborn. He's like, no, I'm going to make... You can just feel the, nope, just shoving through here with the way they use it. A little bit of an weird emphasis on the bass, but otherwise some fun stuff. So, new version. So you notice they're actually re-emphasizing the woodwind there to add to that same pullback beat thing I keep talking about. Like you can feel when they pull back the note in order to emphasize those pauses. Sounds almost Arabian, doesn't it, though? It's also lighter and airier than the original, which I think I like. Like, the percussion beat is still there. The bass is still there, but both have been de-emphasized in favor of the woodwind, which, if you're paying attention, there's actually 2 woodwinds there now instead of 1. And yeah, it does sound a bit more mystical, which works for Thamasa. I'm not sure it works for Strago as well, but it's interesting. And that's it. It just loops at that point. I don't think that's better, but I do think that's one of the different ones. Speaking of, next one is Realm. Now I'm going to go ahead and admit this one does hurt my ears a little bit. That part right there. I've never liked that particular instrument here. Again, mostly just because it hurts my ears. The rest of it's fine. One thing I will always give this song is it definitely has the tender feeling to it, which is funny considering Realm herself is very much a bit of a tomboy. But there's still a lot of gentleness in the tone. Notice how it actually uses horns, that is to say brass, in the background to emphasize the woodwind in the front. Which is an unusual choice, but it works considering how low they have the horns in the background. And then it loops. I was say, I actually remember the vocal soundtrack version of this one. Don't think I have it locally, but... New version. It's the Kingdom Hearts oboe, or whatever that is. Is this honest to God an escort quest? Oh my god, it is. Much easier on the ears. They repeat the same trick, but you can almost not even hear the brass in the background because of how quiet it is. I think I like this version a lot better than the original. It's a straight mix, but I think the instrument change helps a lot. What do you think? I'm trying to identify that particular woodwind they're using. I'm not sure which it is. It works really well, though. That. Congrats, Imperial Star Destroyer. This is going to sound weird, but the way they do the... I don't know what it's called. They do an accent on the end of the notes of that second woodwind for the second rejoinder section. And it almost makes it sound like the instrument's smiling a little bit. Like, smiling's the wrong word. I'm going to go smirking. Which sounds so much like Realm, doesn't it? That's good. I think that's definitively better. These radiuses in this game. Hang on. Let me just get rid of this stupid escort quests, am I right? Alright. What's next after Realm? So then we go to the Cave of the Espers. I forget what that's called in the original one. Because it's not called the same thing. Because of course it isn't. Why would they have the same song? That's madness. There it is. Yep, Another World of Beasts. That's where I found it. Okay, try that one. I did. Oh yeah, this is a wonderfully mystical song. It manages to sound eerie and mythic at the same time. Yeah, it starts off just kind of morose a little bit. The usage of the strings as percussion, a trick we pointed out before. Primary focus on the woodwind. But then... it has this section. And the usage of the piano as, like, the chimes there. And the way that they emphasize the descent across the octave, or whatever. It's just really, really well done. So, anyway, sorry. New version. Yeah, let's kill these things really quick. Because this is the dumbest... I'm tempted to give this one quest a negative at this point. I've been on this one quest for like 6 minutes now. What the crap is this nonsense? Oh, I like that. That scraping echo. The added strings, long notes there in the background, add some weight to that. And then we add a new instrument. It reminds me a bit of an FF5 styled song. If and Craig. Okay, I really like that bridge. Just the rest of the song fades away and we just hear one very quiet echoing piano. Or actually, no, I think that's a harp of some kind. I really like this. And you're right, the tone of the two sections is definitely different, as it often is for these. But, I don't know, I'm rather fond of that. I think they did some good stuff with that. Like, this part feels more ephemeral, whereas the second part feels more present, if that makes any sense. Yeah, exactly. I can never think of the names. Welcome. Thank you, FN Craig. I will put that towards the FF6. Fix the remaster. Oh, check. Don't even have the document up. Give me a sec. Until I'm just with it this morning. God. And for once, it's just because I'm tired. Yeah, I think this is another one of those not better, per se, but definitely a different take on it. And I do enjoy it, make no mistake. I love the way they use the strings in that second section. Absolutely love the way they do that. The bridge. Oh gosh. Oh, sorry. Probably spent enough time listening to that song. Okay, so what's next? Okay, so this is one of those ones I've been waiting for. I've been nervous about. This is the floating continent. I'm gonna go ahead and admit the first time, I think I've told this story before, the first time I hit the floating continent, I was just gobsmacked. I was like, oh my god. This is awesome and incredible and amazing and I love it and oh my god, everything's beating the crap out of me now. So I'm nervous about this one. So the original, let's go ahead and listen to the original first, which is there it is. Now, what I love most about this song is it's actually a weird combination of epic and mystical. It also has a bit of offness to it. Like, the usage of the instruments and the specifics of how they do them just sound off to try and emphasize the alien nature of what we're going through. The Esper world ripped out of its own pocket dimension and shoved into, you know, into the physical plane. And yeah, it feels a little corrupted. Yeah, it just feels... Huh? And then we've got... And then this section right here. I love how the bridge for this is literally just a breath. It's just... And then it keeps going, you know? It's wonderful how they do that. And, you get the almost... You can almost feel the scream, is the word I want to use, in the way they use it during that last section. So, very curious what they're going to do with this one. It's okay, Darth Maduro. I will forgive you for deciding to use Twitter for some reason. So, fingers crossed. They've added a brass under the strings for the melody. And a couple of extra layers to the noise in the background. Yeah, I know, right, Camper? It's just... Again, it gets that wrongness to it again. Just in a different way. It's much more overt. So there's no second section, so I'm going to rewind just a sec here. I want to hear that, whatever it's called, the latter half of the song again really quick here. They went less bombastic with it, and I think it's a little bit to its detriment. It doesn't have anywhere near the impact of the original, but it sounds more echoey. It also sounds more technological if you're paying attention, the way they did it. Like a chunk of mechanical ruin kind of a thing going on. I don't know. I think that's going to be one of those different ones rather than one of those better ones. Thank you, Mr. Red. As always. I have already jotted that down for Mina the Hollower. Yeah, I feel like they pulled back a little bit too much to try and go a different direction of it. You know, trying to make it sound more mystical but wrong, I think is the way I want to phrase that. And instead it does, but it loses some of that boisterousness that the original had, the power and the weight of it. Now, it looks like, yep, so next is Everything's Going to Hell. Wait, that's the wrong song. I always forget these songs because they're always mislabeled. Sorry, this isn't Everything's Going to Hell. This is, oh crap, the big bad, this is effectively Geshtal's theme in more ways than one. If you're paying attention, this is also pieces of the intro right at the very, very beginning. Brass taking the harmony. Strings holding the melody. Bit of a military beat there. Sorry, it's just fascinating to think about this song and how many different pieces come together for it. Because we've got a bit of the military theme, we've got a bit of the Gestalt theme, we've got a bit of the intro theme. It really does sound like the namesake, Catastrophe. I'm curious what they do with the new one. So, as expected, they nail the strings. Sounds like the beginning of an opera. Getting into Dragon Quest territory now. Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna rewind a sec. The minor key ascending descent there works really well. And it's essentially just a bridge. It's not even a full second section. Really game. I don't know, what do we think of that one? It definitely gets across the vibe, and I love the way they use the strings as always. I should answer Tim's question, because I don't have the question bot up right now. Let's see. Was asked exactly. Swap. Yeah, it's mostly a straight. A lot of the 6 songs have been straight mixes, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It kind of makes sense. 6's music doesn't really need remixing as much as some of the previous games did. I would say Stormblood, in terms of side quests, is bouncing up and down in quality a lot more than the previous ones do. Heaven's Word was pretty much just universally bad. ARR was universally bad, but not as bad. So far, Stormblood has been acceptable and bad, and then acceptable and then bad. Well, anyways, next is... Ah, yes. The Ultima Weapon theme. Atma! Where is it? No. Wrong one. Oh, of course. What's it called here? It's not called anything expected, so we're going to have to go through this manually. Let's see. Surely it's here, right? Hang on. There it is. Now, I've always liked the big boss songs of pretty much all the FF's games, and this is no exception. It's hectic in a good way. And it keeps that sort of operatic feel that a lot of FF6 songs do. It's just... And then you hear... I don't even know what that instrument is, but I love that. I love how they use the strings as accompaniment here. Hear them in the background? Yeah, it's some kind of electrical instrument. I don't think it's a straight guitar, but it could be like something trying to emulate a guitar. Either way, it works really well to add an almost technological edge, as weird as that may sound, to what is otherwise a straight operatic piece. Because this is almost entirely strings, woodwinds, you know, you got the timpani in the background there, and then you just got this. And I love the way they use that. And you notice how the first section goes down, whereas the second section goes up. They're automatons of a sort, yes, Imperial Star Destroyer. So, kind of nervous about this one, too. This is another one of the nervous ones. Actually, we got several nervous ones coming up. New version. A little more noise. Interesting decision to pass over to the woodwind there. Yeah, it's much more muted, but you notice they actually pulled up the background. I like the introduction of the rock organ in this section. I think I would prefer the new version if the whatever that synth instrument is was a lot heavier. Instead, it's so muted that it actually loses a lot of the impact it needs to have, especially for a song that is already this frenetic and noisy. Like, I like the additional layers they add, and I love the additional instruments and the second rejoinder, but then this happens. And it's just... like, this feels like a bridge now, instead of, you know, one of the main sections of the piece. Well, not more bassy. Like, here, hang on. Let me switch back to the original for a sec. Like, hear the difference? In this version, this is clearly melody. It's right up front. Yeah, the pitch is different, the volume's different, and I swear the instrument's different, although I'm not sure. Yeah, they pushed the melody to the background, which is an unusual choice. I'm not sure what I think of that, other than what I already said, of course. Not bad. I do like what they did with most of it. I think I would prefer it to the original, if not for that one decision. Then we go to, yeah, the Dark World. So, there's actually two versions of Dark World. I'm not sure what the difference is here. Ah, okay, that's the difference. All right, got it. So, now, this isn't much of a song in the strictest sense of the word, but God, it does its job so beautifully. I've never thought I've never heard a song that speaks ruin better than this one. We've just got a low, plodding organ, an occasional bing. It's so empty. And of course, it's got the wind going the whole time. Same wind sound effect from Chrono Trigger, actually. And don't mistake me, Chrono Trigger has some good, ruin songs, but nowhere near at the desolation of this level. And yeah, we just hear that the funeral bell in the background. Oh yeah, that first scene and just hearing this music is just, oh my God. Did I really ask this? Because that's funny. Hasn't even looped yet. It's about to, though. Right there. I go back to the harp. It's just this funeral dirge, and I love it. It's also doubly important because if I could talk for just I'm going to let this song keep playing. If I could talk for just a second about this idea. I'm actually I'm accused many times of being too dark in my storytelling, but I always defend myself by saying that it's not the darkness itself that interests me so much as the way it's utilized. And FF6 is a perfect example of this concept. What I mean by that is that this Dark World song is so dark and so depressing that if this was the only overworld music for the World of Ruin, that would actually probably be a bad thing. Instead, this is the overworld music until the moment at which our hopes are rekindled, until the moment at which we think we might be able to turn it around and do something about this. And from then on, we hear Searching for Friends. And this serves as effectively this has to be that far down so that when Searching for Friends comes up, it is pulled that much more up. If that makes any kind of sense. Yes, Celeste really does, well, okay, depending on your decisions, tries to commit suicide. Just, yeah, is saved by what is effectively random chance. So let's hear what they do with the new one. No wind this time. So they added a layer there. That's interesting. Okay, it's a different tone entirely, but I think I like it. I mean, it would probably still have impact, but nowhere near as much, Loke, yeah. It's a much more sharp piano. Or pizzicato, I'm not sure which, but it's definitely there. Oops. Keeping the funeral bells. It's definitely different. It's nowhere near as gloomy, but far more abandoned cave. Like Hazardous mentioned earlier, this sounds more horror than sorrow, and I actually kind of agree with that. Like, this is the kind of thing I would expect in a horror game. Or a cathedral, yeah, an abandoned cathedral. A lot of people died there, it's haunted. We go in, oh god, you know. I think I'm going to lop this one in the different, but not better category. It is, of course, different without the wind, but there's not a lot I can do about that. So the next song is Searching for Friends. No, I'm just joking. It's actually the song. I'm not sure what this is called in the original, so we're going to have to find it here. It should be... Hang on. Yep, nope, that's what I thought. It's that one. Yeah, I'm looking for... There it is. This is Sad Town, but it's effectively the town theme for the World of Ruin. And this is a really good town song. Kind of the almost melancholy banjo on the front, and then... I'm probably reading way too much into this, but you notice how the song itself tries to pull itself up and then falls. And so then it pulls itself up another note, pitch, whatever, and tries harder to lift itself up, but then it falls back down. And it actually loops. It's a really short loop, but it just nails everything it needs to. You can feel... The moroseness is obviously there. A lot of FF6 songs are morose. You know, the sorrow is kind of still there in the background, but it's more of a, we're still going. It's not hopeful. It's more, yeah, exactly. It's more like the search for hope. It's like we're not giving up. Things are bad, but we haven't given up yet, which is a different tone from things will get better. Yeah, enduring. That's a great word for that. Enduring. And this is absolutely true in the game itself. If you pay attention to so many of the NPCs and the towns in the World of Ruin, almost all of them are like, we're just trying to survive. We haven't given up yet. I mean, some of us have, but, you know, we're going to do what we can. So, very good take. Let's see what they do with the next one. Way more, sound effects here. I like that acoustic guitar. I think you're right, Yosenkor. It's almost a choir in the background. Do you hear that? I think it's actually a woodwind, but it sounds like a choir. It's like a breathy whistle or something. Okay, that destroys the tone. What is that? Accordion? Is that a mandolin? I take your word on it. I can never identify instruments, only categories. Interesting usage. So, I'm going to go ahead and say that I think this is worse than the original pretty much across the board. But I also think that they're kind of going in a different direction with it. Like, rather than the we're struggling to endure theme, this is more... This sounds like a frontier town. In the sense that there's obviously some roughness to it. There's more difficulty in being and doing and surviving, etc. But it almost gets that kind of, I want to say, cultural vibe to it. Yeah, the wild, there we go, that's much better. Yeah. Unforgiving frontier, exactly. You see the direction I'm going with that. It works for that. I'm just not sure it works for the world of Ruin. Yeah, this section is just kind of eyebrow raising. Oh yeah, it's totally a different take. It's just question mark. Now, like this section right here is so frontier town. I don't know what to say to that. The wild. It's like, all right, we got this. Let's do this. You know. Anyways, what's next? I'm just gonna play this because I want to hear it again. I just want to hear it again. This is my favorite song in the Pixel Remaster so far. Of 6. One of the things they do with this is they keep splitting up like a half note into 2 quarter notes. I don't know what that's called, but they do it frequently with this particular remix. You talking about? Yes, I did, Valmadrix. And Little Ion apparently had the same idea. But no, I could totally picture that in a proper remake situation. I mean, it's not like you can't do that kind of a thing, as many Mario games will attest to. Oh, God. Ah. And yeah, imagine this song playing after the original's Dark World. Like, imagine going straight from this over to this. Like, that's just... Brilliant contrast, sorry. Okay. Okay, so the next actual song, sorry, it looks like we're going down to Go-Go's place. Very militant for some reason. And quirky. Gotta have quirk. Gotta have quirk. Notice the melody passes instruments for the entire first section. Just kind of hops around between instruments. It's the same melody. Get a little bit of that funk in there. I think the whole point behind the beat, which I personally identify with militant, but isn't, obviously. Oh, we're already done. Is they're trying to get across the idea of like a parade, right? But like you can hear that. Everything emphasizes it. Both points of the percussion do it. The bass does it, and even the main melody notes themselves and the harmony notes are all trying to get across that marching kind of beat as we're going through it. Yeah, exactly, Hazardous. Like you can kind of get the vibe of that. So let's see what they do with it in the new version. It's a weird sounding timpani. Definitely leaning into that parade vibe here. How's it Gil? Yeah, like the way they use that trumpet is just wild. And that's actually it. So if you mean his purpose in gameplay, Ghost Star Destroyer, it's actually pretty easy to presume that they wanted to experiment with giving the player effectively total control over character customization, which is what Go-Go is. You could turn Go-Go into basically anything. It's definitely more bandy than it was before, but it works, I think. Yeah, I could see this being a tavern song. Do I think it's an improvement? No. Narratively? Well, the original point was Go-Go was going to be an entire side quest where you were slowly going to be like, aha, we found a hint of one of our friends who's missing. And it's actually just Go-Go. And you have to, like, parse which one's your friend and which one's Go-Go. And how well do you know your friends? Blah, blah, blah. Other than that, I've literally got nothing. So, what's next after Go-Go? Looks like we go to Epitaph next. Okay. Yes, so this is Setzer's theme in minor key. Great song, by the way. You paying attention, by the way? Only 3 instruments have played so far. And what I love about this particular one is most of the characters have a sad version of their theme. But this one isn't sad. Did you catch that? There's no downer element to this one. It's not morose like most of the others. It's actually just reminiscing. Like there's a smile under the notes. It doesn't actually pull the notes down like so for example, Locke's theme's sad version does. Bittersweet is a good word, yeah. Because obviously this is another, you know, funeral song. But you notice how that part right there, it is just straight up Setzer's theme. They didn't actually pull it down at all. They just let his theme hold its own in a different instrument. And I'd be remiss if I didn't point out that the song starts off with a single instrument holding it, and then it switches to another single instrument holding it, and then both instruments play the outro. Setzer and Daryl. Until, during the bridge, the only one that's left is Setzer. God damn it. Sorry. He's so good with music. Do you see why I put Uematsu on such a pedestal? Do you see? Am I doing even a tenth of the job I need to describe how brilliant his music is? And he did it with 4 instruments. Alright. New version. He's keeping the same duotone thing. We can still hear Setzer and we can still hear Daryl. They're also doing a thing, I don't forget what it's called, where you take a moment to start the note, so rather than the note starting immediately, it kind of builds into the note you're playing. That's a sway, a gradualness to it. It appears that's it. It is, in fact, a straight mix. A bit of an instrument change and a bit of a kind of a thing. Whatever the hell that's called. Again, I don't know any of the terminology. And yeah, I think the acoustic works quite well here. Agreed. Alright, after Epitaph is... Ah, right. Now, it's hard for me to disentangle my memories from this song, because I used this song a lot back in TV productions. This was essentially the theme for my high school's art department. They loved it. If you paid attention, I mentioned several times that I was really close to most of the art department, and they literally invented a new class just so I could keep taking art classes in my senior year. So I kind of don't know what else to say about this other than it's an arts song. Listen to it. Although if you pay attention, most of the song is essentially repeating the same stanza, but with different usage of instruments each time. Like, the same core melody hasn't really changed, and yet it's just, they keep shifting up how they're playing it. This plays in Owzer's house when you go to recruit Realm and get Starlit. I forget what she's called in the new version. Yeah, very Renaissance. I agree, that's a good word for it. It's actually looped, believe it or not. It loops into itself so smoothly you wouldn't even notice. Probably because of the fact that it's just kind of the same core song over and over and over. New version. Yeah, I'm not... It sounds a little more Castlevania-y, but really in a good way. I do like how they use the low strings. But yeah, I feel like several people have commented in chat, and I agree. I feel like the notes need to be able to hang a little bit longer to really emphasize it. Oh, that's it, apparently. There's no second loop. Sorry. Oh, but... yeah. I feel like they lost a bit on that one. But the next one is even more incredible. Yeah, it does... The library theme, that's exactly what I was just thinking of over in Soden. Whoops, wrong card. So the next one is... Looks like Umaro. So this is what plays in the cave leading to Umaro. Again with the pseudo-military beat. They do something really interesting here. The beat of this song, the percussion, is literally carried by both the brass and the strings. Beat 1 is the brass, beat 2 is the strings. It's a great contrast. And I don't know if you can hear it, but in the background there's a clunk, clunk every now and again. Like something striking bone. I think you're right, Tratham. So yeah, it's got a bit of that 65 million BC vibe. But I really love how he uses the contrasting bass beat, for lack of a better way to put it, between the two instruments. Whoops, wrong one, sorry. That's that one. So, Umaro, new one. You can hear that background beat a lot better here. And added a twang. Actually, I wouldn't mind having this team do Chrono Trigger in general, personally. Yeah, there's more layers to it, more depth to it, which I like. Let me get this section. I think this is one of those cases where adding the extra layers and depth to it actually really improves the song. Like, it's still definitely Umaro's theme. Or Umaro, if you prefer. But there's more of an oomph to it, for lack of a better way to put it. Like, you hear how it's actually literally 3 brass instead of just 1 this time? Yeah, no, I'm with it. I'm with it. So now we've got... This isn't much of a song, but I don't want to say I like it so much as it does exactly what it should. Organ, shaking bells, and choir. Oh yeah, definitely low, definitely ominous. I mean, this song practically screams cult to me, which is perfect for the Fanatic's Tower. And that's actually it. It's a very short loop, which admittedly is problematic given the nature of the dungeon in question, but, you know, whatever. It also does a great job when there's actually a variant version of this, which unfortunately is not on the soundtrack, that plays during Kefka's cutscene in the end of Kefka's Tower, which is just absolutely horrifying. So, I'm curious what they do with this one. It's definitely longer. I already like it. Oh yeah, that's actually really good. Oh god, that discordance too. Oh yeah, no, this sounds like this just you're descending into hell. And the building. We added the strings, the psycho strings, we added the brass. This is way better than the original. Damn! Jesus, that's terrifying. In a good way, in a good way. And the usage of actual choir probably helps, but... Hang on. I'm going to rewind just a second. I want you to listen to the choir before they start singing. You can hear them building up like almost a scream as the song is building. Listen to this. Come on. Did you hear that? The way that that builds the choir before they actually start singing? That's just... wow. That is messed. Yeah, almost Bloodborne-y, I agree. Ooh. Anyways, so what's next? Yeah, next is the last song we're doing today. Just Kafka's Tower. Now, I admittedly really like this song, but it's almost entirely because of how this is one of the best last dungeons Final Fantasy has ever done. So I'm a little bit biased here. I'm going to go ahead and admit to that. Go ahead and be honest. Let's see what they do with it here. So hang on. First, the original. So, a little bit of the tech, a little bit of the new continent kind of vibe in there. Before we descend into discordance and a slow beat. You hear bits of the Gestalian theme, bits of the Imperial theme, strings and brass bouncing back and forth as they often do. If you're paying attention, it's not actually the same tempo, but it keeps the you are moving forward vibe that the Floating Continent did as well. The Last Dungeon song, you know, the idea that you have to keep going. We could, says Slayer. It's not a bad idea, actually. Good idea. And you notice how its bridge is unusual in the fact that its bridge is actually before the loop point. And so it kind of loops partially through, if that makes any kind of sense. Because we've already looped. So let's see what they do with the new one. I like that. Oh, I really like that. What do you think, Blow Off Alex? I know you historically didn't actually care for this song. What do you think of the new version? Yeah, there's just a hint of hope, which there needs to be in a good Last Dungeon song. I really like this. Damn. Okay, let's try to actually talk this out. We've got the extra rock guitar underneath it, which adds a great bass beat. We've got the added layers to the brass. They do so much more with the strings in the background. Like, there's an actual... They've basically added another harmony in the background of hope underneath the rest of the song. And the brass took it over there. And I love how it doesn't lose that beat, that moving forward beat. In fact, it actually emphasizes it. And there's the note of sorrow as we're going through there. And then it switches to this. Here's the new section. I don't know what to call this. This sounds Fire Emblem. And yet it builds into the loop almost smoothly. Yeah, exactly. It feels like... One of the things I love so much about the Lavos last boss song, no, not that one, is the fact that you can literally hear the duel between the heroes and the and Lavos in the music. It's there in the song, and it feels like this is pulling off a similar trick. In fact, actually, if you don't mind me indulging for just a second, I am referring to this song. So forgive me my foolish indulgence. I want to explain what I mean by that, and I just want to listen to the song again. So we got the low horn, we got the high horn. This is it. And then it descends immediately. Rock organ. And we've got that lovely usage in the background. Horn. You hear the strings in the background accenting the horn? That's a matter of debate, Omega Legion. I would put dollars to donuts that this exact song was written by Nobuo Uematsu. It has his fingerprints all over it. But... shrug. This is when we get to the duel section right here. Strings, doing the main theme of the game. Horn. Contrast. Up to strings. Back down to horn. And you see how it just bounces that way? How they duel each other? Jesus Christ! Sorry, this is just... I'm about to die. This stupid crap. Paralyze. So that's kind of what I meant by the dueling instruments kind of a thing, and I feel kind of the similar vibe from Kefka's thing. But as requested, we'll go ahead and listen to the Prelude. Give me a moment here. There it is. Now, okay, actually, pause. Most of the Prelude songs in the new versions, I haven't really cared for all that much. I mean, they're not bad, but several times they just overuse the woodwind and they're too piercing. You know, we've talked about this as we've gone through them. So, let's see what they do with this one. Yeah, Dissidia Prelude's still my favorite to date. They are using the quite well here. Wow, they added Mega Man music to this. Yeah, unfortunately, I fear I must give the same complaint I have to each prelude so far. They keep emphasizing the woodwind too much, and it actually kind of hurts the overall song, I think. The rest of it's brilliant. As weird as it may sound, if that woodwind wasn't even there, I think this would be near perfect. Like if you mentally remove the woodwind and just listen to the background for a second. And the choir. Oh yeah, the background has almost been consistently good in every single one. Anyways, thank you, Melkor, very much. As always, your timing is spectacular. I will put that for Dungeon Siege 2. All that's left are the big ones. Let's see, so how long have we got here? So we've got Dancing Mad, which is 17 minutes and 38 seconds long, and then we've got the ending, which is 22 minutes and 7 seconds long. Yeah, so that'll be next week. We'll be doing that next week. And yeah, I do want to actually listen to the originals and the other ones this time and not put it off too long like I accidentally did with it before because I'm stupid. But it has been an interesting ride. I really, really like what they did with some of these. Fanatics Tower, especially. Someone mentioned earlier their most improved song was this one. It's hard to argue with. It's a really improved song. Although I stand by my statement. This is Final Dungeon from 2. Oh, me too, Omega Legion. Me too. By the way, I hope Stormblood has been acceptable for you so far. I know there were concerns there. Thank you, Jesse's Master. Did I already say that? I don't remember if I already bowed, but thank you for the Witcher Streamination donation. I did get it. And this is a damn good take on this song. Make no mistake. Three weeks of MLP left. Yeah, that is correct. So, yes, next week we will finish the FF6 Pixel Remaster coverage, and we're nearing the end of the MLP stuff, by which time we'll actually start shuffling Sundays into the regular game streaming block. Oh, so that should be interesting. Temporarily. It's a temporary measure. We'll go back to streaminations at a certain point. Don't worry. But either way, today, let's see. We're covering 3 episodes, by the way. I changed my mind a little bit. We're covering 3 episodes today. So that would be Dragon Dropped, Horseshoe In, and Daring Doubt. Yes, 3 weeks including today. We're doing 3 episodes today, and then we're doing 2 episodes next week. And we're doing 3 episodes the week after. Because of screw my life. So, we're actually covering 3 episodes today. Now I gotta go grocery shopping. So, I do hope you have enjoyed this musical dissertation. As always, so for those of you who care about the streaminations, we'll be covering Season 9, Episode 19, Dragon Dropped, Episode 20, A Horseshoe In, and Episode 21, Daring Doubt. And that's all going to be today. So, I do have a few things to deal with, so it'll be, as usual, a little bit longer than the typical 25 minutes. But once I'm done with everything, I'll go ahead and sit down and watch, and we will start with drag and dropped. So, see you around. I should probably switch screens too, down to here.